4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so this is Conaanaa here, and I'm commentating with,
Zalfor here.
Yep, and we're going to be commentating on the game JulyZerg versus C. For the, this is going to be on the map LOKI 2.
Yeah, and for Terran versus Zerg on this map, there's a expansion behind the main, which is only accessible through the main. So, and there's a lot of small ramps in this map, so it doesn't seem to be a very favored map for Terran. But there haven't been that many Terran versus Zerg games on this map yet. So.
Yeah, in the middle of the map there's a very small choke that only small units can get through, so it's just like Sin Peaks of Beak 2, and it kind of limits the mobility of Terran, which is already pretty limited. So, as this game starts, what do you think JulyZerg is going to do? Because we know he's a pretty low economy oriented player.
Looking at the map, I'll probably say that he will go for a gas expansion behind his main, because and then maybe go for a 3-hatch Mutalisk build like that he usually does, and then try to harass C, and then go for a 3rd expansion, and then go for lurkers in there.
And on C's side, he's really good in the Pro League. He beats pretty much 100% of everybody. But what do you think is wrong with him in these individual leagues? So far he's been doing pretty well, but do you think he's going to be able to play very well? For some reason, whenever he plays in an individual league, he always just freezes up and never plays his best.
Well, if you just saw C, he just stopped for a moment to wipe his hands, so he's probably very nervous. And if we see here right now, he's not building a barracks, so it looks like he's going for some sort of fast expansion build. And we see an SCV going to the back of his base right there, so he's going to go for like a 14 Nexus kind of build.
Would you say it's very risky, because JulyZerg, JulyZerg is very aggressive usually, so without getting a barracks, that could be very hard to defend, even though he can pull his SCVs.
Well, if we look at JulyZerg right there, I don't think that he's going to hatch that many Zerglings as his spawning pool opens, because we just saw like all of his eggs being used right there, and we see here JulyZerg going for a 3-hatch build, and then he's going to expand here before his Zerglings come out. So definitely this is going to be a very macro-oriented game.
Yeah. So, one thing I noticed is, with that fast expansion that C has, what do you think he's going to be trying to focus on in the early game? Do you think he's going to be just like, he's probably going to put up a bunker and maybe fast tech, or is he just trying to macro really hard, and so he can get a lot of barracks later?
Well, usually once you fast expand, you need to make some barracks, at least 2 or 3, so that you can produce units to defend against any sort of early rush and Mutalisk harass. So we see that C has finished his expansion there, but we also note that July's tech is going to be slowed down too. And we see here C is going for opting for fast tech.
Yeah, and what do you think was the reasoning behind JulyZerg not sending a scouting drone? If he sent a scouting drone, he probably could have gotten his Zerglings out a lot faster and been able to do a little bit of damage with those Zerglings. So why do you think JulyZerg decided not to send a scouting drone?
Well, it's also kind of risky if you I mean, if JulyZerg knew that he was going 14 Nexus, and then he sent in a whole bunch of Zerglings, because of the long rush distances, C might have been able to hold that off, and then it would have been an uphill battle for JulyZerg. So he played it pretty safe.
Oh, yeah, and so right now you see that C here is pushing out with 4 Marines, and he is also getting his engineering base, so he seems to be going for early upgrades. Or do you think he's just worried about the Mutalisk because there's no, oh never mind, they're still there. So JulyZerg is going to get his Mutalisk pretty shortly. He's getting his 2nd gas as well.
Yeah, definitely the engineering base is being put up a little bit early, but I mean, it's definitely good to have the upgrades as early as you can. And what we see there, C is already upgrading.
Yeah, and you can see here that C's doing a really nice job of getting his scouting SCV in Jai's base, but he hasn't really seen that lair yet, so he's probably wondering what JulyZerg is doing. Right now he's just pumping a lot of Marines, and he still hasn't gone to Academy yet, which is what I've kind of noticed. So what do you think C's trying to do right here?
He's building a factory and he's got 2 of his gases, so I'm assuming that he's going to try to go for a double starport kind of build.
Double starport. So yeah, now his academy is going up, and he is getting 2 more barracks, and JulyZerg is just about to kill the scouting SCV. C is not actually trying to kill that Overlord, and now he's going to kill it. What's that phone?
Yeah, but what C really needs to do is start putting up his missile turrets inside his base, because the mutilisks of JulyZerg are going to start pouring out, and without missile turrets, it's really hard to defend against against just mutilisks with just Marines. But then again, I think C might have trusted his scouting SCV too much, and he hasn't seen the lair or the spire. But this is definitely not looking very good, and we see one turret being built at the natural expansion.
Yeah, and JulyZerg is getting his mutilis right now, and his mutilis are very, very powerful. With this macro-orientated build, however, what do you like? How do you think that C is going to have to fight off these mutas? He's getting his turrets on the edge of his base instead of getting them in his mineral line. So here comes the mutas right now.
Well, I think what C's going to try to do is that he's going to try to defend with his Marines because he has so many. But I'm not sure if he has Stim upgraded. And we see July there. He doesn't actually have that many mutilisks.
Yeah, it looks kind of strange because usually he'd have about 9 mutilisks right here. So what do you think he's doing? Maybe he was just trying to fake C out into making a ton of turrets, because he only has 4 mutas, and C made about at least 8 turrets, it seems. So do you think it was just a plan by JulyZerg just to fake C out?
It may be, and then we see there that C already has the +1 upgrade on his Marine, so it's gonna be really, really hard to do mutilisk harassment. And I think what JulyZerg is trying to do is that he has 4 hatcheries going on, and he's gonna try to build some lurkers, and we see the double upgrades as well.
And Scourge is out for killing those science vessels. So I don't know. I think that JulyZerg actually played that pretty well by making C waste quite a bit of turret resources on turrets. But here comes the science vessels, and it looks like they already have upgrades because he's lifting the science facility.
What's interesting to me is that I don't know what C's doing with all that gas. He's got 2 base gas, but he's only built 1 starport and 4 barracks. So he probably has an excess amount of gas that we'll probably see him use later. And here comes the first push by Terran.
Yeah, what I noticed about C is he's doing some kind of marine build, very little medics too. Is this what you call SK Terran? And also I think maybe one of the main factors of him doing this build is that it's very hard for tanks to get around this map because of this small entrance in the middle.
Well, usually at the later points of the game, you usually don't push to the middle because it's really easy to defend if you just put 1 lurker there or 2 lurkers there. Units really can't get through. So most of these battles are going to be fought on these 2 ramps. And we see that C builds a second starport to do 2 port. And he will be playing SK.
Yeah, and JulyZerg's also getting his next expansion. So JulyZerg's going to be really ahead economically. And C's going to have to get his natural expansion pretty soon. And here comes the Zerglings! Lurkers take out a ton of Marines, and these Zerglings are picking off the rest. These Scourges are about to take out these science vessels, and both science vessels go down. Excellent play there by JulyZerg.
Wow, JulyZerg just dominated C right there.
Yeah, wow. What I noticed is that C still has a ton of Marines, though.
Yeah, but pure Marines, I think C might have lost all of his science vessels, and pure Marines just can't do that well against against these lurkers.
Yeah, that Scourge timing was really excellent too, because the science vessels are gone, and C only has like 4 medics for a group of 24 Marines, it seems, and you see here that JulyZerg's getting his hive tech.
Yeah, JulyZerg's getting his since he has 4 gases now, he's got hive tech, so it's possible for him to play Ultralisks or Defilers. And then we see here C's building up more and more